This is JP with Political Pop Culture, and this is my take. I came across an interesting story this morning, and it's a story that, frankly, I find a little bit disturbing, and I'm going to show you why. Conservatives blast GOP Governor Noem for refusing to sign bill protecting girls' sports. After announcing her intent to sign legislation to protect girls and women's sports, Republican South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem refused to sign the Fairness in Women's Sports bill on Friday, sending the legislation back via a style and form veto. Unfortunately, as I have studied this legislation and conferred with legal experts over the last several days, I have become concerned that this bill's vague and overly broad language could have significant unintended consequences, Noem said in rejecting the bill, adding, "I'm also concerned that the approach House Bill 1217 takes is unrealistic in the context of college athletics." Instead, Noem has proposed that the bill be directed towards high school and elementary sports, excluding collegiate athletics. Republican South Dakota State Representative Rhonda Milstead hit Noem for the about-face on the signing. "Legislators are the one who make the laws, and the governor signs them," she said. "She's gutting the bill and she's writing new law, and that's not her job." And she's right, that's not her job. The silent form veto, Milstead noted, is typically used to fix typos and clerical errors. Alliance Defending Freedom General Counsel Kristen Waggoner blasted Noem for the move as well. Governor Noem had an opportunity to protect women and girls by signing the Fairness in Women's Sports bill, but instead, she pandered to the demands of special interests. In what was an abuse of her style and form veto power, she gutted protections for collegiate athletes and took away legal recourse for girls forced to compete against biological boys. We are shocked that a governor who claims to be a firebrand conservative with a rising national profile would cave to woke corporate ideology. The governor tried to explain her betrayal with claims that her hands were tied by NCAA policy. But there is no NCAA policy that requires schools to allow males to compete on women's teams, as Governor Noem suggests. The governor also vetoed the part of the bill that gives girls any legal recourse against unfair policies that arise. What's left is mere lip service for the women and girls forced to compete against biological males. The attorney added that she hopes Noem will reverse course and make this right by signing the bill passed overwhelmingly by the South Dakota legislature. Anything less, including an initiative promoted by a few athletes at a press conference, will be more empty words. Now, before Noem sent back the legislation, the Republican indicated her enthusiasm to sign the bill. Great news! The South Dakota Senate just passed the Women's Fairness in Sports bill 20-15. It now heads to Governor Kristi Noem's desk for signature. That was a tweet by American Principles on March 8th, which is International Women's Day. Noem responded to that tweet with a tweet of her own, saying, "In South Dakota, we're celebrating International Women's Day by defending women's sports. I'm excited to sign this bill very soon." So what happened? What caused Governor Kristi Noem to go from absolutely supporting this bill to vetoing it? Not even having the courage to veto it, but sending it back with a style and form veto. What caused this? Why would a GOP governor, one who, as this article states, is seeing her national profile going up, why would she tarnish her reputation by caving to the woke mob on such an absolutely important issue? Irvin the Millennial and I have talked at length about this on our podcast. I have talked about it at length in previous My Takes. This is a subject that is very important. It's important to me personally because I have daughters who play sports, but it's important to anybody who cares about girls and girls' sports. Biological boys do not belong in sports with biological girls, period. Or as Irvin the Millennial would say, period, full stop. Boys who go through puberty as boys are men, period. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. That's the science. That's the science. And men are physically bigger, stronger, faster. That's just the way it is. That's not trashing women. That's not putting women down. That is science. And just because the science deniers on the left want to say that, oh, well, if you believe that you're a woman, you can be a woman, it's not true. They have an unfair advantage competing against women, and that's just the way it is. And you notice that this is a one-way street. You don't hear biological women who are transitioning to men complaining that they can't play men's sports. There have been zero cases of biological women transitioning to men, going into a men's sport and decimating, crushing, destroying every record in that sport. It's happened 0 times. Why? If you can just think you're a man, why can't you compete with the men? Oh, because that's not fair. Because you're not big enough, you're not strong enough, you're not fast enough. This bill that Kristi Noem refused to sign after she touted it, after she tweeted on International Women's Day how she was so excited to sign this bill would have made a difference to girls and women in the state of South Dakota and eventually, hopefully, in the surrounding states and then in the rest of the country. Kristi Noem had an opportunity to do the right thing and she didn't do it. And now Kristi Noem needs to answer to the people of South Dakota. She needs to come forward and explain her actions. That's my take. I would love to hear your take, and you can give me your take by leaving a comment. Also, if you like the video, do me a favor. Leave a like, leave a rumble. That little bit of action from you really does make a big difference for the channel. It helps show that algorithm that people really are paying attention and care about what we're saying. Now, if you disagree with me, hey, I want to hear that too. If you don't like what I have to say, let me know why. Let me know where I'm wrong. Anyway, I appreciate you listening. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.